Well, hello, Carl and Anthony. Hey, it's the hardcore legend Mick Foley saying hello. What a beautiful afternoon it is. Wow, gorgeous May afternoon. There's a view of the river at the Foley compound. Just want to say hello to you guys and let you know that I'm looking forward to listening to you on A to the K, the podcast. I am not yet exposed to much in the world of podcasting, but I think I'm going to start. I hear great things about you guys. I appreciate you being fans. I'm going to go out on a limb and just guess that you guys are big wrestling fans. So I'm going to thank you for your support over the years. Have a nice day.
Right. So let's talk SmackDown, Carl.
If we must.
I'll spoil it for you now, man. This isn't going to get a good rating. Right, they seem to have a weird thing with toilet humor at the minute, and I think it's like, I don't know, I don't even know if there's a time and a place for toilet humor, but it's like, it's just so fucking immature and stupid. But this is what they're doing with Miz and Morrison now. So we opened SmackDown with the dirt sheet, and they basically started by taking the piss out of, trying to take the piss out of Otis because he's fat, and then they go into sort of having a bit of a go at Braun and the way he got his title shot and so on. And then they have this weird skit with Bray Wyatt's Funhouse-esque puppets, admittedly joking that Braun was replaced by puppets. That was kind of funny. But then their skit and their puppets were like Dookie the Toilet Man and stuff like that. And it's like, oh, for fuck's sake, just the worst kind of humor. That it's beneath both Miz and Morrison as far as I'm concerned, and I don't really see who's finding this kind of shit funny. This is, I mean, they're definitely catering to kids. I suppose that's the audience they're aiming for. They're the kind of people who just be like, oh, yeah, he said poop, that's funny. But yeah, and then we get Braun coming out taking umbrage to what they're saying, and he's like making out like he's a guest, and they're like, you're not our guest, and he's like, ask me a question, ask me about Bray and stuff like that. And we had the only real suggestion that there's still going to be something, because they haven't really built anything yet, is the Miz said, like, how are you not bothered by the match with Bray? How has it not affected you? He's not done with you, like, you can't taunt him like that. He's still, and Miz was saying about how it messed him up, but apparently it didn't mess Miz up enough to not take the piss out of the funhouse, which you think he'd be cautious on. But it was, I don't know, I just didn't like this segment at all. And it ultimately led to Braun Strowman versus The Miz, so we go into that match, thanks to Morrison, who volunteered him for it, which is funny. And then obviously we have Braun making fairly short work of The Miz and battering him. And now, Carl, we're going to get The Miz and Morrison versus Braun at Backlash, because why the fuck not? Braun often goes against multiple people and ruins their fucking careers. Really worked well for Sami Zayn and Shinsuke and fucking Cesaro, didn't it? What is the fascination with doing this? This isn't going to help Miz or Morrison at all. Morrison, The Miz is as well, but Morrison is a fucking awesome wrestler. Are we really going to make out like he's, because they're going to put Braun over? I'll hang me hat on that one now. They're going to put Braun over, so he's going to just humiliate two really good wrestlers. That's not going to help them at all. What the fuck was this whole thing?
I have no idea what kind of fucking infatuation they've got when it comes to Braun Strowman doing handicap matches, and then 4 titles as well. Where
I know, there's just something about him. They just look at him and think, handicap?
Yeah.
Don't know what that is. Match.
Shouldn't laugh, but yeah.
Yeah, it was way too savage. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think, at least with the 3-on-1 for the IC title, it kind of made sense to a degree, because it would have been those guys, and they would have put it back on fucking Shinsuke or whatever, and then it was the big kind of twist with fucking Sami Zayn winning it and stuff like that. So, okay, but this is a tag team, and then one of the guys on commentary were like, oh, if he wins, if they win, we could end up with co-champions. And I was
what
like,
the fuck is that? Which is weird, because when Braun lost against Sami Zayn and Shinsuke and thingy, they weren't co-champions then.
Exactly.
So why is it a co-champions situation now?
Exactly.
They just make their own fucking rules up as they go along. But like, for me, and I sincerely hope the only way they can deal with this is that's when we're going to see the Fiend again. That's when there's going to be shenanigans, that this match is happening, this clusterfuck of a match is happening, and the Fiend interrupts and it goes to like some sort of no decision, because there's no way they can have Braun going over them, and they can't have them going over Braun. It's an absolute mess of a match. But I'm hoping the Fiend deals with it in some way. I just find it weird that the Fiend's had a few weeks off now, and this like slight mention from the Miz is the only suggestion that feud is still going to happen. This, I don't know.
I also just want to say that I'm really not convinced on Braun Strowman as a face champion either. He looks like a fucking idiot. Like, he comes out and he's like, aren't you gonna ask me about Braun? It's like, oh, fucking hell, man. Like, I don't know. Just I'm not digging it.
I don't know how they don't feel disrespected when WWE put them in storylines where they have to come across like moron, rednecky type people. Like, it's such a weird stereotype for the South that they seem to have, but they're doing it with Otis as well. And it's like, we get where you're from, but that doesn't mean that you have to conduct yourself that way. They are making them look that way. Like, I mean, I don't know. It's not. I don't really like Braun with the title anyway. I don't think he's a title guy. Like, all due respect to him, he's more like the Big Show. And don't get me wrong, I know the Big Show. I feel like he's held a title at some point. He probably has held the title at some point. But people like the Big Show and Strowman and that, they're a spectacle, aren't they? They're a behemoth and they're difficult to beat. And it's like a David and Goliath thing a lot of the time. But they're never your champ. They're not the people you really remember with championship runs. All due respect to Braun. So I'm not really sold on him as a champion anyway. And I want the Fiend with it back, if nothing else. You know, if that's where they're going, let him win the fucking title back and we'll deal with it from there. Anyway, so we move on to continuing on in the Intercontinental Championship tournament match. This one is between AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura. Now, in all fairness, this was a really good match. I alluded to it earlier that they put on really good matches together. They've got a lot of chemistry together. There's a lot of history there. I believe they've wrestled a lot in New Japan and so on. The only thing I could say about this match, I mean, I enjoyed it. It was a good match. We saw AJ take the win, so he's going forward in the tournament. And I don't follow much outside of WWE and AEW, so I'm not really qualified to say, but I don't know if this was necessarily the best match between AJ and Shinsuke we've ever seen, but it was certainly still a good match between the pair of them. That being said, as far as, like, you know, bear in mind last week I was saying, you know, Daniel Bryan versus Gulak was an absolute clinic. This was a really good match, but I wasn't buzzing off it the same way I was that match last week.
Yeah, I mean, it was better than the Mania match. There wasn't fucking, you know, there wasn't no low blows.
Of course, yeah, they were, yeah. Fuck, I forgot about the Mania match. That's how good that was.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought, I wasn't a massive fan of the Mania match that they had, unfortunately. I think that this one was, I don't know, the pacing was better. It felt like just a better kind of matchup between them. But I've not really watched any of their stuff outside the business. So, yeah, again, I'm not qualified to say whether it's their best, but definitely better than the Mania one for me. Yeah.
And I don't know how you feel about the win. I think, I don't know, we can't really see Shinsuke in the IC picture again so soon anyway, given that his mate took it off him anyway. It's like, Sammy was just like, I'm having that. But so I think AJ was probably the right call. And apparently now AJ, we'll talk about it a little bit more now, he's been officially traded to SmackDown, even though they did not want to divulge what he was traded for.
No.
Was it another wrestler? Was it a couple of other wrestlers? Was it a sandwich? We don't fucking
know. No, I don't know. It feels a bit weird, like a little bit of a cop out almost, like this whole trade thing. I think they basically
it really felt like a fuck up. Like someone said around and gone, hang on, isn't he Raw? And they've gone, fuck, we made the graphics now.
Yeah, let's just say we traded him. We'll decide who later.
And don't be wrong, a lot of people are buzzing off AJ being back on SmackDown, and I get that because he held SmackDown on his shoulders for a good while, and he was the best thing on there for a good while. But just because he's coming on to SmackDown doesn't let me forgive the fact that they've just been sort of hackneyed about it and gone, yeah, we traded him.
Yeah.
What for? And if you've traded him for Corbin, I'm gonna fucking be pissed off.
Oh, don't even say this, Anthony. Don't even suggest it. But no, I don't know. I think I'd be cool with AJ winning the IC title. So, you know, he's you know, if it's a workhorse belt, I mean, it's not anymore because it looks like a piece of shit. And if you look at who's held it of late,
it looks like some sort of weird fidget spinner or a pog or something. It's a fucking horrible looking title.
Fucking looks like a pause. Yeah.
Yeah. So AJ's progressing in the tournament, and we'll discuss who else is progressing in the tournament shortly. So we move on to Bayley versus Charlotte Flair. Get your daily dose of Charlotte here, Carl. What I did like about the match is the fact that not Becky, she's gone. Who's the other one? Sasha Banks was asked very politely not to come down, not to be involved, because Bayley wanted to do this by herself. You know, other than the hair puppy look, it made a lot of sense to me. You know, she was out last week talking shit, so I'm going to prove that I can do it on my own. Although it seemed to suggest like Sasha's like, oh, I'm not going to betray you, right? You probably are at some point. So we had the match. The only thing that bugged me with it, we had Bayley taking the win, but typical Charlotte things, she couldn't take a straight win. It wasn't like a clean pin. She got a surprise roll up and held onto the ropes. So, oh yeah, Charlotte lost, but she didn't lose. It wasn't a legit loss. Charlotte doesn't lose. They had to have some sort of bullshit. But so Bayley comes out of it like, yeah, I won, I'm awesome. And then Charlotte's like, you didn't really. So she wasn't overly pissed off either. Okay, that happened. Cool. Didn't even involve Sasha, so they weren't even using it like they did last week to build up that potential feud. Don't know what the fuck that is. It almost had an air of Bayley versus Charlotte not being over, so hopefully it is, but it seems like they might be pushing onto that a little bit more as well. I don't know. Really don't know where they're going with this one. How did you find it, Carl?
I don't know. I don't want Sasha's help. I want to do this on my own. Except I want the help of the ropes because I'm going to use them to beat you. I don't know. It didn't really make any sense. I think unfortunately you might be right in terms of it's not done with them. I think heading into this, didn't they have like a record or something like they had equal victories over each other or something, hadn't they? And this was like the one that pushed Bayley ahead now. So obviously Charlotte won't let that happen for long. So
here's the worry, Carl. We've had Becky 2 belts. Are we going to have Charlotte 3 belts?
Don't.
Are we going to have old Charlie 3 belts? Because
do it.
I could legit see her take out Bayley, taking the SmackDown Women's Championship and then going, well, I might as well get Raws.
God, just had like shivers down my spine.
I can hear Vince now in the back of my head saying it's good shit.
Ugh.
So yeah, I'm calling it now. Charlotte's going to have all 3 belts by the end of the year. Right, so we'll move on to, and I'll be honest, I'm not even going to talk on this one much because I really stopped caring. We had Mandy Rose and Otis versus Dolph Ziggler and Sonya Deville. And the reason I don't want to talk on it much is exactly that, Carl. My interest is totally peaked. We've seen them all battle each other in some form or other over the last few months, and I'm done. It's over. Like, weirdly, they booked Mandy Rose versus Sonya on SmackDown the week before Money in the Bank, which felt like that should have been a pay-per-view match because that should have been the culmination of those two, their feud. But no, we didn't. We had that on SmackDown between the two of them. Then we've had nothing really on Money in the Bank, and now we're going back to this tag teamy bullshit. I don't care. I'm done. Like, leave it be. We're over it now. Let them be a couple and let the other two get the fuck over it. Don't know what this is. And I don't even want to talk about the match because I don't care. I don't even know who won. Who won, Carl? You know what? I do know who won. Dolph and Sonya. And that's the reason I know who won is because that's the clear fucking sign they're still not done with it. Because the bad guys fucking won, so they're obviously going to carry this shit on.
It's like,
anyway.
Literally, what are they even fighting over at this point? Do you know what I mean? And it's like fucking Otis has, got a future title opportunity and he's still there pissing about in this. But yeah, again, agreed. Not something to talk about, but just bullshit.
Yeah, so the next match we have is the next match for the Intercontinental Championship tournament, which sees Jeff Hardy versus Sheamus. And I was massively disappointed in this match. I'll stress this is the last match of the night, by the way, so it's the only one I need to moan about. But they booked it where Sheamus was basically dominating him. I really don't get it. Jeff is a former world champion who can hold his own. And, all right, ultimately Jeff takes the win. Spoilers, right? But they made it look so like he was scrambling throughout the match. Like, Sheamus had his number and he was lucky to win. That's how they put it across. Even to the point the way he won was like he surprisingly sort of countered, I think it was the Brogue Kick, and then ran it into a roll-up. So it was like, okay, so you got a quick roll-up pin that he didn't expect. Why? What is it? Like, why didn't you end it with a swanton and make it look more like you'd actually won? Do you know what I mean? I don't get why they put Sheamus over so much, especially over Jeff, because they've always had a bit of a hard-on for Jeff. So, yeah, it was just the way they put the match together, really. I think it was the right result. I didn't want to see Sheamus in the IC picture anyway, but I don't understand. Like, are we really meant to now? Because next week we've got Jeff versus Daniel Bryan and Elias versus AJ. That's going to be the next 2 matches next week. And if I was Bryan, I'd watch that match and go, well, I'm not fucking worried. So, it's not done much for him going forward because it's like, well, you barely beat Sheamus. I'm not sure what that was.
Yeah, I don't know. I think for me, I was disappointed because we've been watching for weeks now. Fucking Sheamus go on about Jeff Hardy, and like they're building it up to be this fucking big thing, and then wouldn't you just know it? They're facing each other in the fucking Intercontinental title. You know what I mean? Like, what are the odds of that?
Wow.
Yeah, and then like it happens, and as you said, yeah, it was just like I don't know. It just felt a bit like a proper shit match. So it was just like weeks and weeks for that.
And it's a hardly booked feud because like he was talking shit so much that that we saw Money in the Bank was Jeff versus Cesaro for no reason at all.
You know what? I think in an ideal world, what I want to see as the finals of this tournament is I want to see Daniel Bryan versus AJ Styles. I want to see it so bad, right? So all I can think of is Sheamus might get involved and cost Jeff Hardy.
And they continue that feud on.
And it carries on because I can't see them just kind of squashing it now. So, yeah.
Hopefully not in some senses because it kind of that whole match kind of bugged me. And in my head now, it doesn't make sense for Jeff to progress in the tournaments because I don't know if it's ring rust or what, but he really wasn't capable against Sheamus then. So, I don't know where I'm meant to go with it. I need to see Bryan win it, really. Elias versus AJ is going to be interesting because if anyone can make Elias look good, it's going to be AJ.
Yeah, I mean, do you know what? I don't even think Elias is that bad, to be fair, for a guy his size.
No, he's just greener, isn't he? He's not like AJ is a veteran in the ring, and he can I've seen him adjust midair because people have done his Styles Clash wrong and not tucked. Do you know what I mean? He knows how to wrestle. Like to be that self-aware, be that ring aware. I don't know. I can see him really helping boost Elias as a legit wrestler because so far Elias has been more about the gimmick than the in-ring ability. Do you know what I mean? I think if anything's going to push him as he's a really good wrestler, it's going to be AJ getting him over. Not that he has to win the match, but AJ will certainly help him put on a really good match. Yeah. So anyway, for me, this was the shittest one of the night, and 1.5. Why not? I kind of don't really want to give it that, but fuck it, there was some stuff there. The tournament stuff's actually not bad.
It gets a 1 for me, and that's because the only good thing on it was the Shinsuke and what's his face?
Yeah, almost like last week where they only had one good match as well.
Yeah.
Fucking crazy stuff.
SmackDown's been really bad for so long now, and
I know, it's disappointing.
Raw's not very good either, to be fair. It's
NXT that.
Fuck it, I know. So, thank God for Dynamite. That's all I'm going to say.
Thank God for Dynamite blowing shit up.